Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the PDST live stream class. Today what we're going to be talking about is time and how we can steal it from the opponent. One of the things we work on here is what's called the true cross. And just remember, your salvation lies in the true cross. Now, I'm not talking biblically, but the true cross is when you put your sword between the opponent's sword and your body. And how you do that can vary in not just your defense, but also in what it allows you to do next. As I've talked about in many of the videos on this channel, if you are in the now, you're too late. You have to be in the and then. And what that means to us is it's not just about putting your sword between their sword and your body. It's about doing it in such a way that you are able to counter and respond in a way and a time that you steal their ability to defend themselves from them. And we're going to talk about descending blows. In our school and in the Italian tradition, it's called a Fendente. And a Fendente, if you'll show us a Fendente, please, sir, is from up high. It's a descending blow from right side to left side and going all the way. And it can go all the way down or it can stop in the middle. You have a choice on how you do it. This blow, again, is the Fendente, or if it stops in the middle like this, is called the Mazana. Whether German, Italian, Spanish, English, all of these sword styles have it, because it's basically us just swinging a tool down to the ground and trying to hit somebody in the head. Pretty simple. So if this is the kind of attack that's coming at us, I have two ways I can deal with it. Can you give me that blow again?
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm just going to be in distance.
Cool. Check and measure.
Check and measure. So this is the blow that's coming in at me, and he wants to hit me in the head and crack my skull and finish my fight. I just like that. Let's move this way a little bit.
Sure.
So I have two options. I can either work in front of his time or behind his time. And what I mean by that is, go ahead and begin that action again. If I'm working in front of the time, I'm moving and using my sword in the direction that he's moving to. So I'm now in front of his time. If I want to be behind his time, I move and use my sword to the side that he came from. And I can make the choice on where I want to be. The safest place for me to be is behind his time. But that's also the most difficult, because I need to read his action and respond to it. If we look at this idea in a simple hand-to-hand, he throws a punch at me. I'm not going to move. Boom, there's the blow. I can be in front of his time. Now, I've stopped this, but the issue is I've left myself in position for him to use his other tool, his other weapon. Or I can be behind his time. And I've defended myself. I've also made that weapon more difficult for him to use because he has to twist more of his body to get to me.
He's also not in the line that I can reach.
Not easily.
Yeah.
And so that means that if I work behind his time, I am not stopping him. Go ahead and do it again. And then I've got other targets that I can do. If I'm in front of his time, I can then shift to behind his time. I have these options hand to hand. The other, and I want to clarify this, the other option I have is, if I'm not working in front of or behind the time, is distance. That's a defense I've got too. So he throws that punch, I'm not going to move. There's that blow. Do it again. And I change distance. It's an option. I don't trust that because it's just as easy for him to work into the next action. And now because I'm leaning backwards, I shifted my balance. There's a whole lot of things that we can go into with that. It is true and it is useful. It's also the most common because it makes you feel safe. And the feeling of safety is very, very different than actual safety. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So I can work in front of or behind the time. But now once we go back to our swords, my opponent gives me this descending blow and he throws this attack. Check and measure.
Check and measure.
And this is what's coming in. Go ahead and do it again. I'm going to start off in front of his time. Go ahead. And I countercut him. Now, you'll notice I'm not facing my opponent anymore. And in the fight, this again makes me feel safe because I am really defending myself strongly. What's the danger with this position?
I'm not under threat anymore.
So one of the things that we talk about here is you can either fight the person or you can fight the tool. And the tool cannot hurt me. It's the person holding it that hurts me. So if I do that same action, he throws that attack, and I'm fighting the sword, I've now left myself open for something else because he's no longer under threat. So when you are working in front of the time, you need to position yourself so that you are not in danger from that tool or the other tool. The other option would be, if I do this, that he closes. You know what I want?
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead. Yeah, and now he's made that cover and I'm off balance and I'm rolling over my ankle and lots of bad things are about to happen to me. But if I keep it within or just outside his silhouette and I fight the man, not the tool. Go ahead. Now, I'm outside his arm, but I'm going to bring my weapon into play long before he can ever get his back in. Did you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So I can work in front of or behind the time. I can do that with my sword, but I can also do that with my feet. So this time, I'm going to work in front of his time with my sword and my feet. And in this instance, I move both to the side he's going to. And then I have this line of counterattack. Or I can use my weapon in front of his time and my feet behind his time. And when I do this, I am actually, let me show you. He attacks, I step to the side he's coming from, but yet I leave my weapon on the side he's going to. And that even leaves me in a stronger position. But it is scarier because I'm walking into the blow. But once I understand how the timing works, that means I'm safer because I am intersecting his movement and his blow. I can also do it as a block, not a parry. And we've talked about it before, but real quick definition of the two: a block stops the energy and a parry redirects the energy. And it's important to understand that the block not only stops my opponent's energy, it also stops my energy. Whereas a parry allows me to redirect his energy and my energy, only I have more control over where I'm redirecting mine than he has over his. So now we're going to block it, and I'm going to be in front of his time. And now I've captured it in crown guard, so I can get in and do something else. But I was still working in front of his time because I moved to the side he was going to. If we can use what in the Italian system in Fior della Berry, he calls a Pulsativa. And this is a beating strike, a repulsing strike. And this puts me in front of the time as well. I start in open iron door. Go ahead. We see that in the German tradition as well. This is just a way of working in front of the time because I'm moving to the direction he's going towards. If I do this in the right time, I stop his blade or I redirect it and I break his structure. Let's do that Pulsativa again, real slow. He throws his attack and I step out and I did not stop the direction that he was moving, but I changed his trajectory.
Absolutely.
And what did you feel? Let's do it again a little bit faster.
Sure. A little bit faster?
Yeah, go ahead.
So in this area here, from where I'm structured to allow my blade to cross from my right to my left side, where I'd actually have my point of balance, you're pushing my right shoulder back, which is actually rotating my left forward, and I'm actually leaning just outside of my right ankle a tiny bit here. So I can feel where I'm getting pulled by the weight and force of my sword out over my right knee and ankle.
And because he's in that weak position, I'm here, I'm already leading with my true edge. When I complete my step, I can drive my attack in before he's able to do the next action. And for this, the next action is stopping. And remember, everything costs time. And this goes back to the clap. If I clap, that's actually 5 beats of time. 1 to start it, 1 to do it, 1 to stop it, 1 to start it, 1 to do it, 1 to stop it. And I'm leaving that last one to stop because I'm hitting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 beats of time. It looks like 1, but it's 5. And so when he throws his attack,
Same pace?
a little bit faster. You can see how it's turning his whole body. Let's switch angles. So if you'll stand right there for me.
Right here's good.
Yeah. How's that look?
Angle this way just a tiny bit more. They're going to see the twist a little bit better there.
Okay.
There we go. Ready?
Ready. And it just really throws his weight off, and I am able to complete my next action before he's even ready. Let's mask up and do it at speed and try to defend yourself.
Yes, sir.
And we'll do it at the same angle so you can see how everything's working. Go and check measure.
Check and measure.
Happy?
Checking better cut. Much better.
Happy?
Happy.
And now, so on this one, I want you to throw that attack to hit me and then defend yourself.
Yes, sir. Ready?
Ready? So you can see, I give him no time. This is me working in front of the time. Do it again, same thing. Let's switch back to here.
Right here?
Yep.
All right. Check and measure.
Check and measure. Again, defend yourself.
Yes, sir.
I'm in front of his time. Let's do it one more time right here.
Check and measure.
Check and measure.
Yep. Okay.
And you can see how it's affecting him. So what do you have?
And I don't know if any of you can see it, but my sword's never once come up. Have you seen it? The reason for that is I haven't been able to stop it yet. Or I just stopped it as he's hitting me in the face. And you can see my back foot moving after that step, but my right foot's not moving. I'm not being able to get off the line where he's coming from, is because I've actually still not yet stopped moving forward with my momentum, with my weight, because he's pulled me just that little bit extra outside of where I was. And so me trying to get all my weight's right about here. It's just moved. There's no way I can shift out of this spot. So I'm trying to get this over here, so maybe here, but I just don't have any time to be able to reach that.
Let's do one more.
Sure.
And this is a drill that we call the Centerline Drill. So give me that check measure.
Check and measure. Good angle.
Come this way a little bit.
How's that?
There you go.
Okay. Check and measure.
Let's switch sides. I don't know that that's even visible. Check measure.
Check and measure.
And this is an instance of my sword is in front of the time, but my feet are behind the time. Ready?
Ready?
Let's do it real slow, because I'm going to slow this down in editing. What's that?
I don't know if anybody can see that.
I'm going to slow this down in editing so we have a better vision of it. But let's go real slow. Now, doing the Centerline drill like this does not work slow. And that's important to understand because I'm not using his velocity to my advantage. So, real slow. He throws that attack. I go with him. I dominate the center line. I step behind, and that sets his sword off as he continues. Remember, you got to cut all the way through. And that's what we get. Let's do it again. Now it's speed.
At speed? Yes, sir.
You all right? Now, the nice thing about this is I'm doing it in what's called stesso tempo, which means single time. My offense and my defense occur at the same moment. I don't need to. Let's do it again. I am not going to hit you.
Okay.
But don't keep coming forward.
Got it.
Because my point's going to be in line.
You're going to put point.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I can put it anywhere I want. Do it again. And I can get anything I so desire. I can pick my target. That is in front of the time. I can also work behind the time. Go ahead and take these off for a moment. To work behind the time means that I'm attacking to the side that his sword came from. So if you give me that blow again, I'm not going to move. Hold. He's moving from his right to his left. So that means if I'm behind his time, I'm attacking to the side he came from. So I'm attacking to his right side. I'm basically following him, which can be difficult because I have to have the timing right and I have to be able to see what's happening, or actually I have to be able to see what's about to happen. So let's go real slow. I have a couple ways I can do it. I can do 2 time, go ahead. And then counter attack. Do it again. I'm actually going to start in tail guard because for whatever reason, I swung and I missed and he's countercutting me. There's behind his time. We call this again is the Centerline drill, but from below. I can do it from either side. Generally, if I'm starting above in a high guard when he's in a high guard, I do it in front of his time. If I'm starting a low guard when he's in a high guard, I do it behind his time. It does not need to be that way, but that's the general way to do it. And once I understand that, I keep it simple. That's the best thing we can do in the sword fight or any conflict. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it for yourself. So let's do that again. So now I'm going to start with my sword over on this side. Go ahead. Into the blow. Do it again. Now I want to do this one. And I want to I can use the idea of working in front of or behind their time to give me different options. Now, I want to close, so I'm using my sword to defend myself so I can get closer to grappling range. I can do it in front of his time, but sometimes it's a little easier to work behind his time. And I'm going to start down low. He comes in, I go in here, hold. I find him with my foible at his forte. As he continues, I then step forward to window guard, which gives me all the other opportunities I want. This feels like it should be slow. It doesn't feel like it should be fast enough, but it really is. Let's do it again slow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I can get in. And this is the way, one of the ways that we can see an action that we, recreate an action that we see in the manuscript, which, give me that blow again. And then we end up in this position. Turn around with me. And we did a video on this position in the manuscript as well, because as soon as I turn, I can throw him. You good? Good. Let's do it again from here. From here. I'm working behind, move this way a little bit. There we go. I'm working behind his time. Let's go really slow. He's coming down. I come to the middle. I step across, hold. I find him with my foible. I continue to window guard with the mezza volta. That's what allows me to get close enough. Now, I don't try to grab his arm with my arm. Can you tell me why?
That becomes a muscle-to-muscle action.
It does. So how do I defeat the muscles?
You do it with your body by your step.
I do a step. And that just puts me in place. Then I can grab my own sword and go to long guard. I mean, there's a lot of things I can do at that point. You all right? Is your shoulder good?
Shoulder's fine.
You sure?
Yep.
I do love
an exaggeration for them.
I do love what I do, but when you practice these things, you don't want to go too fast because they work. This again is me working behind the time. Even though I'm stepping in front of his time, my sword is working behind his time.
Let's do it from this angle here so they can actually see
You want me to
sword
switch
a little
sides?
bit. Switch sides. Because it's a really hard thing to see just where his blade's working in.
So real slow. Well, I meet him, I find him, hold, on the side that he's coming from. Continue. That leaves me here. Now, if I just stay here, he can step back. But the nice thing about this is if he does, I just let him. Now I'm in front of his time. And it allows me, when I understand how the timing works, it allows me to move between in front of and behind. One of the dangers that I see a lot is that people start with only with 1 foot forward and they always keep that foot forward because that's the way so much training occurs. And it has its time, but I want to be able to shift lead foot. Shifting my foot moves my body, and that moves where I am in relation to my opponent's attack. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Then I want to do a variation of the same action, but we're going to do it hand to hand.
Got it.
So he comes through.
There we go.
You happy?
Yeah. Okay. This is a good measure right here.
He begins his action. And then I've got my control. And go ahead and pull back. Rotate with me. Because I've got his elbow and I've broken his structure and I'm touching my own belly, go ahead and pull back. He's not able to get out easily. Now, this is, if I'm here, go ahead and pull out. Now, go back. Take your pommel hand off and do the same thing. And this is how, now grab your sword. This is how we end up in the counter ligadura. Because I did not complete, go back, the circuit. So I want to use my body. I said I wanted to do this hand to hand. So if we lay the swords down. So we're in here. He does that attack again. I move here, I've got a counter strike. Do it again. I come here, he throws that other one, and that's how I can get into these other actions. Let's do that again.
1, 2.
1, 2. Good?
Good.
Let me show you what I just did. Let's go real slow. I'm behind his time. He comes in. I'm behind his time. I then put his body in the way of his own hand and step out of the way, rotate. And that gives me this action. Let's do it again. You good?
Good.
1, 2.
1, 2. Paces.
A little bit faster.
A little bit faster.
And then when I step, I've got nice control. This is not something I want to do just because. This is something I would do if, say, there was a table there. Bounce his face off the table. We don't need to. We can get the idea.
It's for the views.
Okay. Remember, if you want to see John get his head bounced off other pieces of furniture, click and subscribe to our channel. You're welcome.
Thanks.
So he throws 1, 2, and I can just bounce him off the furniture. Thank you. You're welcome. And this is just a quick overview of working either in front of or behind the time against a blow coming from the attacker's right side. I can do it against an attack from the left side. I can also do it against an ascending blow, which we will talk about at another video, because doing it against an attack from the left side is very similar to doing it against the attack from the right side. And what's nice about understanding this is that it doesn't matter if my opponent is right-handed or left-handed, because I understand how I interact with his timing, and I can utilize it to my advantage. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, just one of the concepts there of people who are looking at this and everything and thinking about it is just keep it to that incredible simpleness there, okay? If you're moving to where his sword is going to, you're in front. If he's moving to where the sword is coming from, you're behind. Keeping it in just that simple concept of thought, then, as I like to say, play, experiment a bit with safety equipment.
Yeah. The other thing I do want to add to this is not a novel concept. This is in every single art. Often, what it's referred to, throw a punch at me, is I'm outside the attack, throw that punch again, I'm inside the attack. So it's often referred to inside, outside. And yes, that's true. In the physical stance and the physical presence. But if I take it to the next level, that means I get to manipulate my opponent's time.
And that's where we really want to be in any form of martial combat there.
Right.
To be efficient is to control time in the fight.
We are Time Lords.
We are.
Who?
What?
Doctor Who. So, anyways, I'm letting my nerd out there just a little bit. Is there anything else you'd like to add for this?
No, we pretty much covered it in that entire spot there and everything.
So, you can work in front of or behind their time. What allows you to really be able to utilize that is the ability to read their roadmap. Understand the secret language of conflict, the body language within the fight. That tells you where they can and cannot easily go. Therefore, you have the tactical ability to choose where you want to work. And with that, we're going to close up. Thank you for your help with this. Let's grab swords. Thank you for joining us. For everyone in the California wildfire area, please be safe. It's not just the fires, it's also the smoke. Take care of yourselves. For those of you that are in the path of the hurricanes, be safe. And until we're able to see each other and train together, all the best to you and yours. Thanks for joining us today. Boom.
Just stay safe out there, everybody.